So this weekend is Saturday night's main event, and I'm not going to lie to you, this might be one of the deadest cards we've had in a very long time as far as a special event goes. Luckily it isn't pay-per-view, or else this would be seen probably much worse than it is, but luckily it's only a Saturday night's main event. But it isn't Madison Square Garden. They're doing this stuff with Roman Reigns and the basketball player that I can never remember the name of. What that will entail, I have no idea. I assume the basketball player is probably going to get beaten up like Eric Andre did. That would be my guess. But honestly, I don't know. And I don't really care that much either. But yeah, that's kind of my prediction for that little segment before we get into the matches. But yeah, really not looking forward to this event. There's only really one match I really care about, and it's kind of a shame because I didn't want it to be on this show. I'd much rather it be on SummerSlam, but it was never going to get on SummerSlam. But we will get onto that very soon as we go through the predictions of Saturday night's main event for July 2026. First off, we have the Women's Tag Team Championship match where Brie Bella and Paige will be defending against Fatal Influence, which I assume will be Laney Reid and... or Laney Reid. One of them. I keep forgetting her name. I don't know what it is. And, of course, Fallon Henley as well. I assume will be the tag team here. I don't think JC will be the tag team. They're going to be concentrating for her more on singles competition. But who do I think is going to win? I really hope it's Fatal Influence. Like, so much. I'm a fan of Fatal Influence to a degree. I think their aesthetic and them as a team work really well. But at the same time, you know, do I think they're going to take the titles off Paige and Brie straight away? I'm not sure. Maybe Nikki comes out, maybe costs them the tag team titles, and then they turn on Paige. They have a little throwback to the 2015 feud, which would still not be great, to be fair. But I think Fatal Influence needs to get this win here, even if people aren't a big fan here. They need to get the titles off the veterans, essentially. And yeah, Fatal Influence, I'm going to go to get for the win here, but they really need to win this as well, because we need to get the titles off Brie and Paige, because they've been good champions as far as wrestling goes. They have, you know, defended fairly regularly, but I just haven't enjoyed their range as far as them, pretty much. Following that, we have the most one-sided match I think we've seen on a special event or a pay-per-view all year, where Danhausen will be taking on JD McDonough in a match that is literally only there to get Danhausen on the card, and that's why Danhausen's going to win the match, obviously. You know, it couldn't be more obvious that the whole advertisement is based around Danhausen for some reason when it comes to Madison Square Garden. I honestly have no idea, but yeah, so I don't really know what to say about this. Like, it'll be a decent match because JD McDonough is a really good wrestler that is criminally underrated. And yeah, Danhausen is Danhausen, so clearly some absolute ridiculous, stupid bollocks is going to go down. But Danhausen is clearly getting the win here, so I don't really know what else to say about it, because it's just going to be mid at best, probably, because Danhausen's involved. Now for the match that I have the most investment in, I think will be match of the night, should be match of the night by a country mile. We have Bayley versus Lyra Valkyria. Now I am wondering whether they change the aesthetic, the gear, the presentation and the theme of Lyra Valkyria coming out of this. It would make a lot of sense too, just because of the kind of different direction they've gone with as far as her being a heel and kind of been like a little bit out of her mind, but not massively. But yeah, no, I feel like these two are two of the best women's wrestlers on the entire roster, maybe even in the whole industry. This should be an absolute classic, but there's a slight thing as far as maybe they bring up Tatum Paxley here and they have her help Lyra Valkyria. I feel like I would really like that, to be fair. I'm a big fan of Tatum Paxley, love her on the main roster, and I was worried how she would fit into the main roster, but if it's through helping Lyra Valkyria and those two kind of attack Bayley and go after Bayley and have banger matches with Bayley, then I have no issue with that at all. I feel like that could work really well. And you also have another tag team to go after the championships as well, until Lyra goes for singles championships and hopefully a world championship sooner rather than later. But yeah, this should be match of the night on paper, as I've said. But as far as the winner goes, it really should be, and I'm predicting it to be Lyra Valkyria, because it would help her and benefit her much more than Bayley getting the win. I'd love to see these guys have a trilogy where Lyra wins one, Bayley wins one, Lyra wins the rubber match, maybe on pay-per-view. But yeah, no, I'm just happy that these two actually get a bit of spotlight, and hopefully they use that spotlight to have an absolute banger match. And finally, in the main event, because it definitely has to be the main event, Cody Rhodes and CM Punk, the typical trope of opponents at pay-per-view tagging before the event, take on the team of Gunther and Sami Zayn. I assume Cody and Punk will get the win here quite easily, considering they're like essentially the biggest tag team that we've seen this year, just because of as far as star quality goes. But yeah, what is the match going to be? The match is going to be fine. It's going to be good for the most part. There's going to be a little bit of tension between Punk and Cody at times. There's going to be tension between Gunther and Sami multiple times. We've kind of seen this kind of stuff played out multiple times. But there's no way that the big match at SummerSlam being Punk and Cody take a loss here. Plus, it won't make much sense to the story as far as like why would they have them lose and then those should be the WWE title match. But yeah, no, again, very simple to predict here. But you've got to go with Cody and Punk to get the win. So yeah, those are my predictions for Saturday night's main event with July 2026. I hope this isn't massively too negative for people to watch, but this is just, the card is so dead. Like, other than Lyra and Bayley, which I'm really looking forward to, I couldn't care less about anything else on this card. The basketball player and Roman Reigns thing is just a way to, I assume, sell tickets and get Roman to go to Madison Square Garden. You know, hopefully that check is pretty big to get in there. But yeah, no, I have very little interest in this. I'll definitely watch it. There's no way I'm not going to watch it, but yeah, just not that impressed with how this has gone down. There could have been much better matches they could have put on the show, but it is what it is. For the most part, they might add another match. It wouldn't surprise me if they did, maybe on the SmackDown before. But yeah, just Saturday's main event used to feel a lot more important than this, but the last two have been lackluster at best. So yeah, maybe this is signs of maybe Saturday's main event is on its way out. I'm not sure, but they clearly don't see it as a big event as they have done before, which is a bit of a shame, to be fair, but it's fine. You know, it is what it is when it comes to WWE. We've got SummerSlam on the horizon, which I feel like is going to be an absolutely fantastic event, and I can't wait to see some of the matches they've got planned, especially Roman versus Seth and Brock versus Oba. So yeah, the main concentration goes on to SummerSlam after that. We've got a lot of this list and stuff coming up as well, but do like and subscribe for all that good stuff. Also, I started rebranded my second channel into Just Be a Music. There's going to be a ton of lists on there going up over the next few, probably about the next month or so. There's going to be band specific videos going up on there, so go and check that out. There is a link in the description to the second channel. As far as content goes, there's the next episode of the Retrospective coming up soon, all about WWE in 2007. There's a top 30 SummerSlam matches list. There's all coverage of SummerSlam coming up as well, so do subscribe and stick around for all that stuff. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.